Hi, and welcome back. Claire and I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. We did. And we are very excited for this new season to introduce you to some of our great new recipes. We're going to start off the season with making Sernik, a Polish cheesecake. Now, if you've been following us, you know that we already have one recipe of Polish cheesecake, and it is delicious. This one is just a little different, but believe me, it is fantastic. So let us show you this new recipe for Sernik. For the ingredients, we will need 17 1/8 ounces, 500 grams of farmer cheese, 6 large eggs, 1 cup, 120 grams of confectionate sugar, half a cup, 120 grams of granulated sugar, 3/4 cups, 170 grams of butter, unsalted, room temperature, 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and a zest of 1 large orange. This delicious cheesecake will be topped with apricot glaze. Now, to make the glaze, we will need an apricot fruit spread. This happens to be made in France, and it's my favorite one to use. And we will be using a whole jar. In addition, we will need a liquor. In our case, we're going to be using rum. Now, don't get scared. We are not going to use the whole bottle. We're going to be using 4 tablespoons. This cheesecake will be baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I have buttered a 9.5-inch spring foam pan here. Now, you could also use a 9-inch. I've buttered the whole pan as well as coated it with a plain breadcrumbs and sugar coating. Now, we're going to bake this cheesecake approximately 45 to 60 minutes, depending on your oven. Or a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Next, in a large bowl, I've combined the cheese, the farmer's cheese, along with half of confectionate sugar as well as granulated sugar. Using a wooden spoon, we're going to mash, blend all the ingredients until they are nice and creamy. So it's going to take a couple minutes. Just go just like that, and don't be afraid to use pressure. Well, that looks good. I think I've blended the cheese and the sugar well. Next, we're going to add the orange zest. And we're going to blend just lightly so it's mixed together with the cheese. And then we're going to set this aside. In another large bowl, I've combined the butter and the rest of the sugars. In other words, the other half of granulated sugar and confectionate sugar. Now, using either a standalone mixer or a hand mixer, and in our case, we're going to use the hand mixer, we're going to cream the butter and the sugars together. Well, the butter and the sugars are blended. Next, we're going to add the vanilla, and then we're going to add 1 egg at a time. So let's add an egg yolk, 1 egg yolk at a time, and keep blending till you are done. And then the final step is going to be adding the flour. And now we're going to incorporate all the ingredients together. All right, that looks great. Now, I'm going to take these beaters off, and I'm going to go and wash them out, because now we have to beat the egg whites. I've washed the beaters. Now we are ready to whip the egg whites. The egg whites are done, and they are whipped to perfection. So now we are ready to incorporate the egg whites with the cheesy mixture. The best way to do this is to use a large spatula. I have a choice of 2. The first thing we're going to do is take about 1/3 of the egg white, and we're going to place it right in the center. Just like that. Then we're going to press down the egg whites right to the bottom. And then flip this to the side, just like that. So I want you to go ahead and do just this. And while I'm doing this, I'm actually going to rotate the bowl. It just makes things a little easier. So now incorporating egg whites, it's not a hard thing. You just want to make sure you follow this process and you'll be fine. Now this part will just kind of loosen the dough, the egg, I should say the cheesy mixture for us. Just like that. All right, now we are ready to place another third of the egg mixture, and we're going to repeat the same process. Down in the middle, over to the side, and you want to scrape the bottom. Now, you are done when you don't see egg whites anymore. Now, the mixture will be a little lumpy, and that's fine because that's where the air pockets are. Just continue doing this. Well, we are done incorporating egg whites into this cheesy mixture. Well, the oven is preheated and the cheesecake is ready to be baked. Now remember, anytime between 45 minutes to an hour, or when the toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. While the cheesecake is being baked, we are going to do the apricot glaze. So what I have here is the fruit spread. Now the jar that I'm using is 10 ounce. To that, I've added 4 tablespoons of rum. Now remember how I told you, we're not using the whole bottle. We're just using 4 tablespoons. Over the low heat, we're just going to mix this. And we are going to cook out most of the alcohol out of this, but we are going to have plenty of flavor left over. So let's just stir this till it's nice and smooth. Well, the glaze started boiling. We're going to turn off the heat, set this aside and let this cool. Once the cheesecake bakes, you're going to let the cheesecake cool. Then we're going to put the glaze on top. And then you're going to put the cheesecake in a refrigerator to let it set.